on file. Guys right has the area.
Roger, we have the area. Hoist operator has the con.
Check, guys right have the con. You clear right, move forward.
Will, it's absolutely great to be in conversation with you here today at Cougar. Learn an awful lot about what's going on, but we don't know a great deal about you, so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, welcome to Cougar. We're pretty proud of what we do here, and to have someone like Gale Force Winds in trying to get the word out there a little bit more it's a pleasure for us and an honor for us. So myself, Willis Jacobs, my position here is the Safety and Quality Manager. I've been at Cougar for about 8.5 years, and prior to that, a couple of years in industry and 26 years in the Air Force as an area officer. So that's my background. Born, raised in Newfoundland, and came back to Newfoundland to get away from helicopters, and here I am.
And you're surrounded by
And I'm surrounded by helicopters.
Beautiful spot here, wonderful people that we've talked to. We're here to talk a little bit about a new style of training, a new simulator that you have in place. Tell us the starting point of this new simulator that we're talking about.
Well, from my early days in Cougar, one of the things I learned real quick was you've got a group of people here that are not adverse to injecting technology into the training. In my role as safety and quality manager, which is not my background. My background is all operations for many years. They asked me to do this role, and I did it with some, not conditions, but with an understanding that I needed to be able to do it my way. And when you're around Cougar in all departments, and particularly over here at Search and Rescue, you see a group of guys that are just incredible professionals, really good at what they do. So from a safety, quality, training perspective, it's up to us as the managers to look at ways that we can even improve upon what they have now. And of course, today's simulation is it. For the pilots, we have a really good level D, high fidelity simulator in Mount Pearl. And the next step in this was to find something that we could bring our rescue specialists into the fold as well. So that's how it started, as an idea. Just an idea of maybe we could do something. And then we had some discussions with Blue Drop, who were doing similar work. And then before you know it, we were looking at a project with the Ocean Supercluster, Blue Drop, ourselves, with some input from CAE and Memorial University, and now you've got a full-fledged project, and this is the outcome.
Well, I mean, that's a dream come true. What a collaboration. You've got SMEs working together with big primes. You've got academia involved, and one of the government's kind of key projects at Ocean Supercluster, all kind of providing a little bit of fuel to this fire. Yeah,
we got started just before COVID. The project was announced just before COVID hit. And then everyone thought that was going to shut things down for a while, but we were able to keep the lines of communication open. They were working in Halifax. We had people working in Ottawa. We had our own staff here that were able to provide data. So actually, even Blue Drop at the end of it thought that the project went incredibly well and very quickly.
Now, you know, the question we ask, why does simulation in this training matter right now in the moment? Why does simulation matter, I would argue?
Well, you've seen from some of the activities that the guys get involved with that it's really high risk. You know, they tell you it's fun work. They tell you it's their job. They tell you it's what they come in every day to do. But when you're working for offshore Newfoundland and Labrador, typically when anything goes wrong, it's not on a nice sunny warm day. It's when the weather is at perhaps its worst. And we want to make sure that when our folks get aboard the helicopter to go off to do a mission, that we have given them every bit of possible training. And in today's world, the next step, even though we've got a fantastic training program, even before the simulation, this just steps it up another level.
You know, I get the sense that safety is peppered throughout your conversation. It's in your job title. Yep. But I sense that Cougar's approach to safety and indeed training this way is collaborative. You're doing this for a broader community.
Oh, absolutely, and that's our next step is understanding that some of the things that we're learning and developing, including with the mission training system, the hoist simulator. This is stuff that we want to share around the world. We would like to get out there and show other operators what we've developed and the program that we have. And what it does is it raises the standard of safety for this type of work. And that's a difficult thing to do. And even a lot of our own rescue specialists were very quick to say, when we had this germ of an idea, a lot of these guys were telling us, you can't simulate what we do. It is really too specialized. It's really too difficult. You can't simulate it. And you can put a rescue specialist into the gear, into the simulator, give them the VR, and any of them now will tell you that give them 3, 4, 5 minutes or maybe less, and they are completely immersed in it, and that there is value. So that's where we get it. That it doesn't seem like an easy or natural fit, but it absolutely is.
So, you know, what's in the art of the possible here? Where do you see this going from a training to a certification, a qualification? How do you see that playing out? Every
week, every month, we see something different that we realize from what we have here as a resource. And you only have to take it back to the whole idea of workforce development and just where are you going to find the next generation rescue specialist. And Cougar, over the last 4 years, we've had almost a deliberate program for a decade at least. We relied heavily on individuals retiring from the Canadian Armed Forces as SAR-techs and coming into our world. Well, that pool is not as deep as it used to be. So we realized some time ago that we have to start growing our own. That means finding young individuals that have a desire to do this sort of work and get them in here and train them ourselves. So they don't come from the military with 10, 15, 20 years of training experience. So we needed a training program for this. And we started with that, and now we see that the simulator, the hoist simulator, even though it's not directly applicable to someone coming in as a rescue specialist, we now have the ability to put people in the seat and show them what a hoist operator, what the challenges are, what it's all about. And I think that's a relationship that pays dividends from both sides, from the guys that have been here a long time who can pass on that really valuable knowledge, and the new guys that are just learning their craft. It's fascinating work that you do. A lot of it takes you into very remote and now more topically northern areas in our country. Tell me about Cougar's vision for that. Well, Cougar, we've been in conversation, discussion, a couple of proposals with the federal government for a number of years now, and really trying to promote the idea that we're a big country. The size of Canada there's no way that the resources that we have in play today for search and rescue that you can think they could easily or adequately cover this geography that we have. And I suppose you could even draw a comparison to the mission that was mounted in this area just last week with the Titan submersible recovery. That was just what, 317 miles off St. John's, and the challenge that they had to get assets and resources and commitment and mobilization to meet the challenge that was out there. And we look at our north in sort of a similar lens, that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to realize that disasters don't happen often, but boy, when it does, you'd better have resources close by, because it's a long way from here up to Resolute Bay and points beyond. Yeah, and you know, we talk about the military mobilizing SAR, and a fantastic job that they do, our Canadian military, in search and rescue. But as you so rightly pointed out, their resources are dwindling. They're always in a hunt for talent as well. Do you see in the future that your style of training complementing theirs? It's possible. Yeah. Now, we work closely with our uniformed search and rescue brothers and sisters. and we don't have anything but the utmost respect for what they do. They've got it. We have a contracted service for the offshore oil and gas. They have a no contract service where they don't know what call they're going to get today to go anywhere in Canada. So you know, tons of respect for what they do. What we've always maintained here at Cougar is an open relationship with them. We train with them. We let them use our facilities. It's just understanding that at a time when there is a real disaster and a real need, that's no time to be figuring out the communications between what we do and the military. So we've got these guys on speed dial. They have us on speed dial. The Joint Coordination and Rescue Center in Halifax, they know where we both live, and they're not opposed to tasking either entity if it meets the requirement.
And I would argue you all speak the same language.
Same language.
Right? And when the need arises, everybody pitches in and they just help out where they can.
Yeah.
What an amazing relationship to have with the Government of Canada.
And you saw that again with the Titan submersible, that how easily the Coast Guard, the RCMP, Cougar was involved with the planning, the Joint Rescue Coordination Center, the U.S. Coast Guard. Last week you had United States Air Force cargo jets showing up. You had Royal Air Force cargo planes showing up. All of that in a time of crisis came together pretty swiftly. And you know, we as a commercial operator doing search and rescue, we need to be continuously plugged into their network.
As you evolve this incredible kind of training package for rescue specialists that you're putting together here at Cougar, who do you see as an ideal customer? What type of people would be interested in this service?
2 points there. Anyone out there really that's using a rescue hoist. Just recently, Blue Drop made a sale of a similar HMTS to an organization doing forestry or forest fires in the United States, where they can help with hoisting, and they can teach them this. There are police agencies. There's the Coast Guard. There could even be militaries, but we know that in our community there are a lot of search and rescue organizations doing offshore oil and gas all around the world, many of them with S-92 aircraft. So to be able to bring them here and show them what we have and how to use it, what we believe beyond a commercial model for what we have is elevating the safety standard for search and rescue in all jurisdictions. Now, Newfoundland and Labrador, this is as harsh an environment as you're going to get for doing this sort of work. So we believe we've developed that reputation for collaboration, the reputation for first-class training. So we would be quite honored to be able to share this with any jurisdiction that's interested in this type of training.
You know, we spoke to some of the professionals here at Cougar, and they talked about the trust and the relationship between the front end of the helicopter and the back end of the helicopter. And when they're on a mission, that is, it's just a bond that can't be broken. Is that matched in simulation as well? Is there a method to train pilots and rescue specialists all together?
Yeah. I mentioned we have our own S-92 flight simulator out in Mount Pearl, arguably the best S-92 flight simulator in the world, incredibly well done by CAE out of Montreal. That's been in place since April of 2016. Part of this project was not just putting in place a simulator for the hoist training, but to make the connectivity between the two, and we've done that. We've linked them. We've done the proof of concept. We've done some beta testing, and now we're refining it. And I'm not aware of, Alan, of anyone else anywhere else in the world that has done this. And what it gives us is twofold. We have the ability to sit at the workstation upstairs and carry out hoist operator training, but we also have the ability to send two of our SAR pilots go out to the simulator, which is equipped with the same automatic flight control system and the software that this aircraft, our SAR aircraft, has, and they can now conduct full crew missions where they have the communications, they have the same visuals. The pilot is flying the mission from Mount Pearl, and our guys are doing the hoisting from right here in our Cougar facility. That's been proven. It's right there. It's
unbelievable, right, that people can fly into our province here and receive this level of training, and
well, I think it speaks to, not just because the Blue Drop for their defense work, that's out of Nova Scotia. Blue Drop headquarters is here in St. John's, but putting on a little bit of putting on another hat as a CADA, Atlantic Canada Aerospace and Defense, who you're familiar with, and we do our own promotion through shows like Mass 23 that's coming up at the end of next month. But it speaks to the level of technology and innovation that's available here in Atlantic Canada to serve the militaries, to serve commercial operations like ours. It's second to none. And for me, that's I'm just happy to be able to be part of the pointy end and a part of the association that sort of facilitates some of this interaction.
I'm going to pick up on one word that you use there, and that's serve. There's no doubt in my mind, you working at Cougar and the team here at Cougar continue to serve their community, continue to serve their country. How does that make you feel as a Newfoundlander to take your service from the military into this industry?
I mentioned at the start that I had no design to get back into. I did military operations and NATO operations for all of my career, and when I came back to Newfoundland, it was to sort of take a different career path. A chance meeting of someone that had a mutual acquaintance here at Cougar came for a little bit of a contract that wasn't supposed to last that long, and very quickly I realized that actually this is what I want to do. They serve the offshore, but there's a bigger picture to what Cougar has for capabilities, and you will, these guys were helping out with the snowbirds over the past weekend, and the talent and the commitment that they have to what they do is really second to none.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you. Thanks very much for what you do, and thank you very much to Cougar.